operations of fractions, adding and subtracting. When we add and subtract, we need to get a common denominator. When we do multiplying, we want to multiply across the top. Do not cross multiply. And then multiply across the bottom. When we're dividing, we want to flip the second fraction. And then multiply. When I used to teach, this is an introductory thing to my 6th graders. I used to say, when you want to divide fractions, you need to just flip and multiply. So flip and multiply. Okay, don't do regular multiplying. Divide when you're dividing. Flip and multiply, please. Which then takes us to performing indicated operations, doing those same things with numbers. So for example, A, we need a common denominator. The common denominator between 4 and 8 is 8. So we're still going to take both fractions, we're still going to add them together. When we take and add those together, they're still going to have a denominator of 8. To get an 8 from the 4, I had to multiply by 2, so whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I end up with 6/8. I didn't do anything on this one, but if you want a common system, I multiply times 1, so on top I do 3 times 1, which is 3. It's the same fraction, you don't have to do that step. I'm adding these together, 6 plus 3 on the top gives me 9, 9/8. I don't want to write that as a mixed number. Mixed numbers just are going to end up confusing us. They're not as great for doing operations as they are for understanding what a fraction actually means. And so we're going to leave these as improper fractions if we get them. In part B, we're multiplying these two. So we're going to multiply across the top. X times 3 is 3x. 6 times 2x is 12x. Don't forget, if you have the opportunity to reduce, you should do that. X on top and x on bottom, those two cancel each other out. 3 over 12 can both be divided by 3. So 3 goes into 3 once and into 12 4 times. I end up with an answer of 1/4. Part C, we've got 5 halves. I want to flip and multiply. So I changed 25/4 to 4/25, change the dividing to multiplying. And then again, I can multiply across. If you want to reduce before you multiply across, you can do that. Otherwise, just multiply across and you would end up with 20/50ths, and then you should reduce that. Otherwise, if you want to reduce first, 2 goes into 2 once and into 4 twice. 5 goes into 5 once and into 25 5 times. Now I can multiply across. Well, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 5 is 5. I end up with an answer of 2/5.